And so that means 24 out of 25 don't have it, have losses.
Right.
As you recall, one of the great effects of this microbe, most microbes in the gastrointestinal microbiome colonize the colon, way, way
Right.
down, 24 feet down from the mouth. And that's where they're supposed to be. But Roteri is unique in that it has the unique capacity to colonize the small intestine.
Mm.
And that's where it takes up residence and produce natural antibiotics. And these natural antibiotics are effective in killing fecal microbes, which, as you know, is a huge problem now. This notion of small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, what we say SIBO, SIBO, that is, fecal microbes like E. coli, etc., have colonized the small intestine where they don't belong, and they're very destructive when they do that. Well, is the loss of Roteri and maybe some related species that have this unique ability to colonize the small intestine and produce antibiotics of their own. And these are different than the antibiotics you get from the hospital, from the doctor. And so, is the loss of Roteri part of the reason why this has become an epidemic? That is, because explains why SIBO has become an epidemic. I believe it is.
Mhm. Yeah, because now we have no protection against these other microbes. So it's a, I guess it's called what's called a keystone microbe, right? Which is kind of a, it does more than just one thing. It kind of helps the whole ecosystem in that area, right? It kind of helps balance everything.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
It's
So if I
fascinating.
had SIBO and I took an antibiotic like Xifaxan, it just kills a bunch of stuff, but it doesn't start the process of restoration. So
Yes.
exactly right. You restore Roteri, maybe some other microbes, and it begins the process. Microbes are kind of like people. We don't live in isolation. We have partners and families and friends and neighbors and coworkers and communities. Microbes are the same way. So restoration of Roteri is that first step, not just in restoring Roteri, but in cultivating a healthy community of microbes.
And then now let's just dive right into one of the huge effects that I'm very excited about. It causes the body to increase that hormone oxytocin, which is kind of a hormone that people know about, you're bonding with your mother as a baby, but it does a little more than that, right? Oxytocin does a lot more.
And people will say, I like my spouse better. I get along with my family better. Their foibles and quirks don't irritate me as much. I like my coworkers better. My favorite, I accept the opinions of other people more readily. I love that. Uh, but I also call oxytocin the hormone of shape and body composition. It determines where your muscle is and how much you have. It also determines where fat is located.